Is that VOT? Yeah, I feel so special. I feel really honored to have you here.
Okay. That's really sweet.
Although your Minecraft streams for me are like kind of rage baity.
My Minecraft streams.
Yeah.
I have never played that game before.
I'm actually getting gaslit, holy shit. How dare you? Purple beard when? You should have a purple beard. I think... I feel like...
No, I just grow my hair naturally, honestly. I don't do too much to it. I think I'm okay with leaving the beard where it's at.
You say something?
You just try to mute me? I saw that.
No, I'm making you louder.
As soon as I started talking, my goodness.
Oh my god, no. Jesus. Goddamn, I've never been so nervous before, holy shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect that. I've seen you become the main character of Twitter multiple times. I would have thought you'd gotten over the nerves of being in front of people.
No, I feel like in the LGBTQ community, you're kind of a celebrity, so...
Nah, there are many great creators in this space. I'm just a silly guy reading memes.
And you do a really good job at that.
Thank you. I used to, before I took an arrow to the knee.
You don't upload that frequently anymore.
Wow. Wow. Called out. That's crazy.
I feel like when it comes to like memes, are you also like struggling at some point to like find new ones? Or like find ways to like talk about similar topics in like, the same meme format? Because I know like from my other friends who do like these sort of like meme review type of things, that is like a big issue.
No, I don't mind talking about different things. I think even in the DMs you asked me whether or not I'd be able to touch on political issues, my goodness. And I did hear you riffing a little bit about Greenland. No, I'm fairly comfortable talking about what I'm ready to talk about. I just have a preference for specific memes. Sort of fell into it accidentally, and I found a little happy space.
You also like do memes from like different subreddits. Do you have like a favorite?
Do. My goodness, I've had a storied career in the last 7 years.
Yeah. Do you have like a favorite?
I originally thought I was going to be a commentary channel. That's why the name One Topic at a Time was originally the thing. My first video is a commentary video as well.
How did you like end up diving into like mainly like LGBTQ memes?
October 2019. I was covering an insane parents subreddit, and one of the posts on there was specifically about well, a few months earlier, but anyways, this one specifically stood out to me. It was a kid, 17 I think. She wanted to get a haircut that felt better represented her, something just kind of stylish that she thought was fun. But her mom and her stepdad were making fun of her, saying how much of a lesbian she's going to look like. She found the text messages, screenshot them, and then put them next to the haircut that she really wanted. And all she wanted was some cool color on top and an undercut.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hell to the nah, are we going to make fun of that? So that's when I whipped up the haircut that you see before you. And that kind of solidified my decision that I made a couple months earlier in trying to make a focus on LGBT content when I was doing another Insane Parents video. When I read out that someone had kicked out their kid just for being trans, and I thought, we're all on the same page that that's a ridiculous decision, that shouldn't happen. And in today's day and age of 2019, haven't we all moved on from transphobia? My goodness, isn't that a thing of the past?
Yeah.
And then someone in the comments decided to argue with me on that and say that if they were the parent, they would definitely kick out the kid. And I didn't understand that, so I argued with them for quite a while. I remember one evening I was driving back from the gym and my phone kept pinging because someone would make a new comment, so I'd pull over and then I'd respond to their comment and then I'd keep driving again and then paying, so I'd have to respond to their comment. And I don't know. I used to do a lot more of it back then, where I'd write people back. But
Mhm.
I didn't think that making LGBT focused content was really needed back then.
Yeah.
In my space, in my friend group, in the communities that I've grown up in, people aren't really phobic. It's not really a big thing. There are some people that do suck, but it wasn't like an overwhelming presence. But then as my content started getting seen by more Americans, more people of the South, and just other communities elsewhere, I realized, oh, no, there's a lot of people that think incorrectly. Let's try to correct this by finding some common ground in what we find funny. And let's just vibe out in some things that we find relatable. So I've just tried to find the common ground since then, and then had enough of it in that October video. I think it came out in November that year. When I decided to cut my hair and go full lib, purple hair and pronouns. My God.
It was like
Blue back then, though. My goodness.
So that was like at the start 2019. Oh, I'm getting a package. Give me a second. 1 second.
That's fine. Hi, chat. I've taken over the stream. It's now my stream. How are you this morning? Put a 1 in chat if you're chat.
Okay, I'm sorry. I ordered a
No, it's
pillow.
okay. It's my stream now.
Yeah.
It's all good. Look at the minions.
Okay.
Putting in all of the ones in chat.
Out of control. So like,
Can't believe I woke up early for this. My goodness.
wow.
Yeah. Forcing me to babysit your chat. My gosh.
Wow. God damn. Didn't need to like twist the blade.
Listen, I slept for about 40 minutes to be here.
Oh my god. Okay, now I feel bad. I feel terrible.
I guess with the time zone change, it's not that bad for you. It's probably afternoon.
I mean, for me, it's like 5 p.m. So, or like
Yeah, it is
5:30.
afternoon, I think you'll find.
Yeah. So like you kind of like started 2019 to like dive into this, and then
First
Yeah.
video came out 2019.
and you notice when that like people are more transphobic or getting more transphobic.
Yeah, I just thought collectively it was the thing that we'd moved past as a society. I didn't realize how bad it was, and then I decided to dip my toes into the online marketplace of ideas. I'd never had social accounts before, so it was a little bit different reading some of the things that people were comfortable with putting on the internet.
Yeah.
And that made my tummy feel weird, and I was like, I don't like that feeling when I read this. I can't imagine what it's like for other people who are being targeted specifically by these comments. I still get a lot of transphobic comments pointed at me, and I'm like, well, if they're hitting me first instead of somebody else, it's probably for the best. So, and I'm probably making a good difference just by seeing who I'm upsetting by the content I'm making.
Oh yeah, I feel similarly with like, well, if they are focusing on me, they're not picking on someone who's like smaller or
Small bean.
is struggling. Like 2019, I think that was like the time when I was coming out, and like before that, I did have like a lot of experience with like these bigoted communities and so on. Like I grew up in the gaming space, and I really like noticed this shift. And that was like definitely like an issue for me, and made it so I wasn't like really safe to come out.
Did you play Call of Duty?
I think I played Overwatch. My phone just crashed.
I might. Oh my God, you're frozen.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're just looking up into the sky. oh, never mind. You moved. Okay. You're enraptured by the falling snow for a second there.
Yeah, my phone crashed. Yeah, I played Overwatch, and I tried to get into like the competitive scene, and
the gaming scene was really weird back then.
yeah,
I remember in the like later 2000s when Xbox Live started to be a thing and people could talk in their headsets and stuff. And I was like, this isn't real life, y'all. Some of y'all say some mean things, and it just made me not want to play online with people.
yeah,
I just had no want for it. because they were just gross. Ugh, saying things, and I'm like, you wouldn't say that in front of your mom, would you? You wouldn't say that if your friends and family were listening. Come on now. So I just assumed it was stinky gamer talk and just wouldn't ever engage with those games. And then I realized, wow, some of those people really navigate real life like that.
Yeah. A while ago, I saw like a video go viral of like a child being like, "Oh, when I grow up, like I'm a boy or something," and the mom was like, "No, you're not. Jesus made you a girl," and it's just like
Jesus made you.
and people celebrated this like so much, and it's like, even if the child is not actually like trans and it's just like stupid kid talk, it's still crazy to have like this to lash out on a child like this.
Yeah.
And
God dang, religion does seem to do that, especially the ones that preach like love and acceptance. They don't seem to be very tolerant.
It's very conditional.
Yeah. We will love you as long as you strictly abide by our rules. And if you don't, burn in hell, actually.
Exactly. What I also find very like interesting is that obviously trans people, we break like the binary and like these norms. And then people come along and they're like, "Oh, you think putting on a dress makes you a woman?" And it's like, no, that's what you believe, that like these things are gendered.
They would have said that to someone if they saw as masculine wearing a dress. Oh, you're a woman now.
Yeah.
And if you ever come out, then it's like, no, wait, hold on. No, you're not. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me figure out how to be mean to you. And that's all it is. They're just trying to be mean to people. And it's weird, but like hurt people. And people who've been through religious trauma, they lash out some of the most.
I always try to be like empathetic towards these people and come from like a point of understanding, especially when it comes to TERFs. I feel like a lot of transphobic women just suffering under like the constant misogyny and like abuse, and just give it to the next group. And yeah, that's kind of what I grew up with, like these confrontations and so on. These past couple of years, never really dove into Reddit, but I've seen some of your videos, and there are a lot of like memes, especially when it comes to like AnimaAo.
You watch my videos? My goodness.
Yeah, sometimes.
What the heck? I do like the egg videos. They're some of my favorites. They're so fun. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's always like, for me back in the day, I never really had like this egg cracking phase. For me, it was more like, oh, I want to be a girl. I just want to, live life as a girl. And at some point, I just realized that, no, the other guys don't feel that way. It was like the moment for me. But it was never like, oh, I had no idea that these aren't like cisgender thoughts.
A lot of cis people don't seem to question their gender. Or have a preference for not being whatever they were assigned at birth. It's really interesting how people stumble across those realizations of the thing that I assumed was the status quo is not actually.
It's kind of like when you have ADHD or something and you only realize that people's brain just doesn't work exactly like yours when you take
life isn't
medication.
Hard for everybody else like it is for me, my god. Dang. Yeah, I feel you on that.
My mom always told me that I didn't have ADHD because I'm not hyperactive and I'm not I can sit still in my chair.
Yeah, there was hyperactivity was definitely the focus of the mid and early 2000s for people who assumed kids were on the ADHD spectrum. Well, late 90s, I suppose, was when it was getting popularized. It was even featured in a South Park cartoon, maybe 2003 or something. They did an episode on kids with ADHD. And they were showing that sometimes kids are just kids and they're misbehaving and bouncing around and stuff, and that wasn't actually the problem that they really need to be tackling. Anyways, subtle commentary, meta commentary aside, it would have been great if, when I was growing up, or I suppose when you were growing up, if people at large had a grasp of the language that was used to describe the things that kids were going through, so that way they didn't think they're just inherently broken. That would have been cool.
Oh, yeah.
Back when I was assessed, I wasn't like, what do they say, dysfunctional enough to actually receive assistance. But because I didn't receive assistance, I was lagging behind my peers so substantially that I was put in some special assistance classes, but only very, very, very late. I was assessed early in middle school, and they were like, yeah, something wrong with you. And then one of my instructors, one of my homeroom teachers, so the primary instructor that you receive and spend most of your time with throughout the week, they had a kid who was special needs, so they said that I was not special needs. And because of that, because they would tell the other teachers that I didn't need assistance, because they would tell the faculty I didn't need assistance, I didn't receive it for years and years and years, right until the last couple of years of high school. And they were like, hold on, we need to put you in a class. I was like, oh my God, will I receive help in this class? No, but you'll get more time on tests. And I was like, oh, great, that's fun. All right,
awesome.
Cool. Super appreciate that. And then years later, I start covering subreddits that talk about autism and ADHD. And I'm like, wait a minute. These are all of the words for the things that I struggle with. Eye contact, brain flitting from one thing to the next, never being able to focus, never being able to settle. Oh my God. Lack of sleep. Can't focus in crowds.
This isn't just normal.
A social situation happens. This isn't what happens to everybody.
Yeah. I like this car analogy of like, when everybody goes like, oh, everybody has like car troubles, but you're like actively like struggling every single morning to get your car running, and you have to like fix things when they break down, and you gotta take care of like all these things. And then like somebody else who just got like a new car, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, like everybody else
like, feels like to run out of gas. And it's like, no, but it's like my engine every single morning. Like, yeah, well, you know, maybe you just need to prepare better, because like when I run out of gas, I realize it's my fault. So maybe if you prepared better, you also wouldn't run out of gas. It's like, I'm not just running out of gas. There's so much more wrong here.
Yeah, exactly. Also, it's the same when it comes to like mental health struggles, and then people go like, "Oh, you're just lazy. You just need to like find
just
your."
Sad. You need to choose to be happy. Have you tried taking a walk? Have you gone outside? Have you spent some time in the sun? You just need to eat more vegetables. Have you had your vitamins? Are you up on your iron? You just need to go to the gym. It's like people who go to the gym are sad too. Please.
Everybody gets sad sometimes.
Just smile. Yeah. Do you know that if you smile more, it'll affect how you feel on the inside? So just fake it till you make it, honestly.
Every single morning when I wake up, I drink a glass of water and I look into the mirror and smile at myself. You should do that too. That is going to fix your depression.
Yeah, whenever my food is imbalanced, whenever I'm eating unhealthy, I get sad too. So honestly, you need to lay off the snacks. You need to get out of bed. You need to go face the day and be an adult, okay? The rest of us are choosing to be happy. Life's not easy for any of us, okay? So stop making your problems our problems.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, every single time.
Yep.
I feel like way too many, like also parents underestimate how much, pain and
You're just
suffering.
Being dramatic. You were never like this as a kid. Oh boy.
Do you also have it that like your like my parents always like compare me to how I used to be when I was like 12 or something? It's like, I know who you are, I know what you like, and it's just things that I liked like as a kid.
No, I was pretty broken at 12, so they didn't really make those kind of comparisons, but I feel you. I understand.
Yeah.
It's like, but you love peanut butter sandwiches. And it's like, I said I'd like peanut butter sandwiches once when I was 6. I grew up as a person since then. I feel you.
Yeah, like when I went like swimming with my brother, and like my mom went like, yeah, but like you don't swim, you just like jumping into the water. And it's like, yeah, I like doing that when I was 14. That was a lot of fun actually. But I do know how to swim. I have learned that in the past 15 years. Thank you very much.
There's a disproportionate number of individuals who are on the spectrum, whether that be autism or ADHD, who also suffer from depression. Largely environmental factors play into that because this is not a world built for those with funny brains. It's built for built for boring people who can just function every day. Lame. So the rest of us just have to struggle. And because of that, we develop internal complexes. Because of that, we get sad. And then the rest of them say that we're just complaining.
Yeah. I think that like a lot of emotional mental health things are just being ignored and like downplayed because people can't physically see it. Like, don't get me wrong, they also
inefficient for capitalism, so there's no point paying any attention to it. Because if you break a leg, not only is that visual, but it's something they can't just deny. They can't sweep under the rug. But if you're just sad, that's something you feel on the inside. There's no reason to pay any attention to that. Just go put the fries in the bag, bro. Go back to your cubicle and do your TPSAs. Do your quarterly reports. Fill in the... I don't want to fill in the spreadsheets anymore.
You just haven't worked enough. You need to...
You need to put in the hours, honestly.
Especially if you're like disabled in certain aspects and you can't just like work hard, and people are like, you just need to like put more effort into it. And it's like, I mean,
honestly, if you haven't succeeded your position by now with all the work that you've done, then you haven't done enough work. Otherwise, they would have recognized all the hard work you did, and they would have promoted you. So if you're struggling financially, that's still your fault. If you're struggling mentally, that's still your fault.
It's like working hard in order to just like function every day. Like that is already a struggle. Like I need to put in effort that other people are just like don't have to think about. It's like if you have like chronic back pain and that's like the only like you constantly notice your pain, you constantly notice your back, but people who don't have back pain and don't think about it, like,
I know it's a very literal example, but I was run over by a car. I got settlement out of it, so I have back pain every day. I feel you. I'll put it to you like this: do you ever find this when you're in a group situation at work where it might be a circle of people and they're all talking? And you have to maintain eye contact with the person who's talking, but you also don't want to be the weird person who's making eye contact for too long. So you count in your head how long it needs to be between your blinks to make sure it doesn't seem like you're staring at them too long, and then how long between your nods so it makes it look like you're engaged in the conversation but not way too engaged. And then after that, you're like, okay, now I know to switch to this person, and I know to wait for a few moments, then blink, nod, and then switch to this person. And then by the end of the conversation, you realize you've absorbed none of it because you were trying to be a person for the entire time instead of just being able to be comfortable and listen to the things that the people were saying.
Oh my god. Yes. Holy shit.
Do you know that other people don't have to go through that?
They don't have to like think about fitting in a society that is not necessarily like meant or like made for them, built around them. That's crazy.
No, that's because all the flippin' normies were out there creating villages and towns, and all of us with funny brains used to go on adventures and form new villages and new towns elsewhere. We used to climb mountains. We used to go through forests. That's why we're hyper acute, hyper aware of any little sounds that happen around us, because anything could be an incoming beast or creature at any moment that we need to be aware of. Everything could potentially be a threat. There's no real safe space for us because we're always out and about seeing the world. We were the original adventurers, and it's genetically coded into us.
A huge issue that I also always have is that I constantly think about like how to like insert myself in a conversation when multiple people are like talking, and I'm just like,
God, no, they're talking. Wait, no, I want to talk about that. Oh wait, no, they moved on from that. No, wait, but I had a thing.
And they moved on.
And then they point at you at the end of the conversation after all of the talking points that you had prepared carefully have been said. And they're like, now what is your opinion of this? And it's like, no, but so then you have to like piggyback off of other people. And they're like, wow, you really didn't prepare for this conversation, did you? And it's like, I did. if you just called on me first or you let me talk before, then I would have been great, but no.
Oh my god. It's always like, it's also like in like not just work, but also like friend circles. When you have like a group, like anytime at parties or something, I was just like so uncomfortable. People can just engage with others even if they don't know them that well, and I'm just like sitting there and being like, I don't even know how to like start a conversation with
the only
another
person worth talking to at a party is if they have a cat or a dog, and I just hang out with that the whole time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, nah, I'll look at my phone.
Yeah.
Are you old enough to have partied before phones?
Oh no.
No, I'm from the before times. You don't know struggles like I know.
I was skipping out on the parties where I didn't have a phone because I was just like playing games, and like everybody else was just like, you know, drinking age here in Germany is like 14 years old, so everybody
Dear God. Never mind. Holy, you were partying before. Well,
I just never participated like with these things.
Did you find that after you drank a bit, after you had a drink or two, that your brain would just get a little bit quieter and it'd be easier for you to slip into those social conversations?
My personality type kind of like changed in a sense. Like it's just at some point I started talking without actually caring about what the other person said. I was just like really unfiltered type of like info dump. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that I was just like not actually having a conversation, but instead I'm just like dumping all these things onto like another person and
info dumping. Another sign.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did that a lot. And the more echo
checklist, you've checked off most of the boxes so far.
I'm going to get diagnosed, going to use this stream in order to get my diagnosis.
I have diagnosed you already, actually.
I need to get like a diagnosis for ADHD, but I'm struggling to make the appointment.
Yeah, did you know that's one of the signs?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When other people are like, oh, I'm just shy, it's hard for me to make phone calls, I know how you feel, and you're sitting there like, no, I have to practice my conversation tree beforehand, because what if I people wrong on the phone and they don't take it seriously and then they don't listen to me? What if I fail this conversation?
I always thought that it's like a part of like overthinking and like social anxiety that I constantly repeat potential conversations inside of my head. And I try to figure like ways out how to engage with certain questions, and then the conversation never went the way that I expected it to go.
Hate that.
Oh my god. It's like, for me, it's also when I make a phone call in German, because I mainly talk about these topics and so on in English. I know how to say certain things in English, and then I have to think about like, how do I say the same in German? And it's also like,
if you tried just having the conversation in English and forcing them to switch. Be bold, Nyara.
Sometimes I force English in there.
I don't believe that.
I do sometimes add the just like the English words in there. It's always like, it makes me feel awkward. Makes me feel really awkward too.
It's valid. It's a struggle that I don't usually have to go through. A lot of the things that I have to negotiate, I can usually at least do in English.
Yeah.
So at least I can use the primary language that I've been struggling in my whole life to be able to have the conversation that I'm struggling with, rather than having to swap back and forth between languages. That's really interesting.
Yeah, bilingual struggles. For me, it's just like, I don't really talk German that much anymore. Outside of like casual conversations, I guess. But once it goes into like something deeper, like more like personal or political, it's just a struggle. Do you also have like the issue that sometimes your brain is too fast for your mouth?
Yes.
Is that another sign of
Yes.
ADHD?
Yeah, and that's why. Well, it's not why, but people who are on the spectrum often have difficulties with hyperfixation on things. Sometimes it's tasks or hobbies and things. Sometimes it's addictions. And people who hyperfixate often and have little control over that often go down the path of addictions more easily than others, especially if they use it as a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
So people who drink, for example, to quieten their brain, to slow it down so they can actually focus and pay attention, usually end up developing alcoholism. So
Yeah.
it's something I've had to keep on top of before in the past. I've had to be very careful about not drinking too much. Thank God being in poverty saved me yet again. I was too poor to develop a bad habit, so I couldn't afford alcohol very often. But like anytime there was a party, if there was alcohol, just down a whole bunch of it. And then all of a sudden I'm a normal person. Oh, nothing felt better in the world. My God.
I just never really enjoyed how it made me feel, I think. Like, I didn't like the taste. I didn't like the day after because like it ruined my entire like day
there's always
after.
consequences. But the next day, if you don't feel good, you just drink more and then you feel fine.
I mean, that's how the addiction
That's the pit
starts.
that you fall in.
Yeah. Problem is I stopped drinking, you know. I watched
That sounds like a quitter, honestly.
I watched a video on what is it called? Kratom? Like a natural substance that is basically like an opioid, but you can just get it in the free market. And
Okay. I'm not familiar.
It's also like something that quiets your brain and makes you focus, but then it's also highly addictive. Kratos. And it kind of like it sucks to have to rely on substances to just be quote unquote normal, be like the others.
Yeah. Have you thought about how society treats early morning risers very, very differently than the people who sleep in and operate later in the day?
Oh yeah.
But have you thought about how operating later in the day is genetically coded into people, as is early morning rising? People have peak productivity hours, and not everybody's peak productivity hours overlap. A lot of us operate better at nighttime when it's quieter. And yet society's organized around those who can operate during daylight hours because it is far better financially for businesses, because throughout most of history, they weren't able to put out lights for people to work by. Now we can work at all hours of the day, it doesn't matter. And yet they still treat us worse if we're not up at 6 a.m. every day. 6 a.m. would be sleeping in, honestly. In the gym for at least 2 hours, then at your day job, then crunching at the gym again, then to your second job, and then in bed before 7 p.m. Like, then we're the worst people?
When you watch like these morning routines from like these millionaires and so on, and they're like, I wake up at 2 a.m. because
Come with me as we go through my morning routine. I start off with an iced coffee.
Yep. I feel you.
Oh my god. I feel like that's just rage bait because like there's no way you're waking up at this time. You go to the gym and then
they do the fit check, and it's like, you know, they always have to do that foot kick where you're showing off your booty at the same time as you're showing off your foot. They think they're so clever.
But yeah, like I always struggle with the fact that like I couldn't get up in the morning, and like my parents were always like, oh, you just gotta pull yourself together, and just like sometimes you just gotta get up, and then you wake up.
Determination. It's just you not being fully mature. Honestly, it's pretty childish. You can't wake up in the morning.
And then
you gotta develop discipline. My goodness.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of us wake up early. We don't struggle with that. So why do you? Must be a choice.
I'm too lazy. I'm not.
Yeah, that must be it.
I need to like. I think my dad wanted to like send me to the military in order to get me to develop the
through training and discipline. Let's break your brain. That sounds great. Thank you, parents.
Oh my god. And I'm just like, I just want to play video games.
Do you find that's a pretty predominant part of German culture, is being timely and organized?
It is a stereotype, definitely. I feel like Germany is like very strict, but like the stereotype of like everything is punctual, I think it applies to the individual more than it applies to like the nation itself, especially when it comes to like companies like Deutsche Bahn and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's very the shop opens at this time and it closes at this time, and that is like very punctual. When you go to something like Italy, you see like closing time 8 p.m, but it closes at like, I don't know, 7:30 or something. And I was like, okay, this feels weird. I should still be able to like go there like last minute. But when it comes to like I guess when it comes to individuals, I have noticed, I had like a lot of friends from Luxembourg. I have noticed that they are way more casual when it comes to, oh, I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'll be calling you back soon. And for me, soon is like, oh yeah, like 5 minutes or something. And for them, it's like 3 hours. Maybe.
One of the things that they don't talk about being on the spectrum, did you know that quite a few people who are on the spectrum actually struggle from intestinal issues as well? So people always say like, oh, you're just chronically late. You're just choosing not to leave on time, even though you've planned out exactly how much time it is to take to get from point A to point B. It's hard for you to get ready to leave before you actually need to leave. So you're sitting in that constant waiting period for like several hours beforehand.
Yes.
But then right as you're about to leave, even though you're fully prepped and ready, you got your clothes on, you got your outfit on, you got your makeup on, everything's ready to go. Then all of a sudden you got the last minute stress poops and you can't leave until you visit the facilities. But then you can't use the facilities because you're stressing out about being late. So then you stay in there for an extra 20 to 30 minutes and then you're late anyways. I hate that.
Oh yeah, that.
Do you know that that's a symptom?
Really?
Oh yeah.
I always thought
you right now.
I always thought that I'm like just procrastinating. I'm like someone who is like when I have an appointment at let's say like 2 p.m. I wake up at 8 a.m. I'm going to like, you know, hang around a little bit. I'm not going to do anything productive in the meantime. I will literally just wait with getting ready till I absolutely have to. And like in the meantime, I just like, I watch YouTube or something, or I take a nap. And then like something goes wrong. And I'm late. But it really sucks that like when I have an appointment and it's like in the like late afternoon or something, I cannot do anything before that. Like I'm not in the headspace. 2 p.m.
You're not getting anything done.
Yeah.
That in the day.
Yeah.
And even the night beforehand, you're stressing over it, so you didn't even get enough sleep beforehand, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that.
It's very fun. Are you telling me neurotypical people are not struggling with that?
NTs don't have to do god dang any of the prep work that we do. We are actually the real warriors out there struggling every single day to do daily tasks. They don't know what it's like to walk a mile in our shoes, my god. If they had to try, I feel like they'd quit.
Want to talk about working hard? Working hard is like mentally preparing for like a phone call that you're going to have at like some point. Like I had a phone call today at like 12:30. I woke up at like 7. And I've just been like sitting there, not doing anything, and like constantly thinking about the words that I'm going to say. And I mean, it went decently. It was a normal call. It wasn't like too stressful. But like the constant worrying it just didn't allow me to do anything. And then the phone call was done, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of tired. I would like a nap.
Post-stress nap. Yeah.
Yeah. I also have that after like a long drive. I used to drive to my therapist for like 90 minutes because I moved and my therapist stayed at the same place. And like just driving through traffic, it stresses me out like so much. And
you need for hypervigilance all the time to keep yourself and others safe, because not only do you care about your safety, you care about other people. And constantly people are not checking their blind spots and not using their goddamn signals, even though you are constantly triple checking and quadruple checking all of the corners of your vehicle to make sure you're never going to be hitting anybody, because what if you do? You know there's going to be consequences, and you're always thinking about that. Do you know that some people can just turn off their brains when they drive? Oh,
I mean, BMW drivers definitely turn off their brain.
Stereotype, isn't it? That's so funny.
It's always the BMW
drivers are like, what's this stick for inside my vehicle?
Oh my god. Definitely. I think that because you know that other people are driving without their brain, that like you have to be hyper like aware.
Double-brained.
Yeah. And I have this like constant thought inside of my brain that I like see certain actions happening, and like that stresses me out. Like when I go on like a balcony or something, I worry about like everything crashing down right now, or maybe it just starts raining suddenly. Like I constantly worry about like these things when somebody I don't know, is at like a cliff, in front of a cliff. I just worry about like so many things that could go wrong, and it stresses me out. It's like the anxiety of falling, of like something crumbling, of like them just jumping, or
when you have a balloon, like a helium balloon on a string, and you're walking outside, how does that make you feel? Extreme anxiety, because at any moment you could let go of the string and fly away, right?
Yeah.
I'm so envious of the people that find joy in simple activities, like flying a kite or something. The only thing that I'm thinking about the entire time is like, the string is going to snap, it's going to fly away, and then I'd be so sad, and it's going to be gone. I'll never be able to do this again. If I have the balloon, I will let go of the balloon, and it won't be my fault, but then it'll be gone forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have the balloon fly into like the electricity cables thingy, and everything explodes. That's like my worry. Like what
Okay.
happens
Maybe your
after it
anxiety
flies
goes a
away?
little bit deeper.
Yeah. No, it's very stressful. I don't know where this comes from. I don't know if that's just like
Genetics.
yeah, I guess. But I feel like, isn't that like some sort of like OCD? Where you constantly worry about like certain things happening? Like some category of like OCD?
Do you feel like you chose that for yourself, or do you feel like maybe that's something that came through to you through your genetics?
I mean, that's definitely like genetics. I'm just wondering if that's like a part of like ADHD, or if that's like a different diagnosis at this point.
Maybe ADHD often accompanies OCD.
Could be.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Fun! Learning is fun.
Yeah.
You know, I had a thought the other day. I thought about this. Did you know that we're closer to the year 2050 than we are to the year that Shrek originally released?
Wait, what?
We are closer to the year 2050 than we are to the year that Shrek originally released.
What the fuck? Wasn't it released in like 2010?
The original Shrek?
2003?
Okay, here. I'm going to start a song. I'm going to do a fun little game with you. Are you ready for this? I'll play a fun little game. I'm going to start some lyrics, and I want you to finish the song, okay? You don't have to do the whole song, but like just do the part that comes next. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everybody's gonna know this. You can play along with this in chat. You ready? Some.
He once told me though.
1999.
What?
Later featured on a 2001 release of Shrek.
The original Shrek was in 1991.
No, that song came out in 1999.
Oh.
And then the animated film Shrek came out in 2001.
Oh my god.
Somebody told you you were old, and that was me.
My god.
You're old.
Did you? I feel like the moment that I realized I'm old was when I no longer had to change the age on the Steam page.
Oh, okay.
Like it defaults to like 2000.
I was an adult when Steam came out, so no, I never had that experience.
I'm older than Twitter. It was also like,
Twitter's fairly young. Yeah.
yeah. I grew up with like a lot of consoles and stuff,
Okay.
and realizing that I'm, older than like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Sure.
It was
96? No, 95. Hold on.
Was it 98?
Ocarina of Time
Wasn't it
release
1998?
date? 1998. Never mind. Oh my god, I thought it was much older. I'm thinking of Zelda on Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm like 2 years older than that.
Zelda on Nintendo. 1986. Oh my god. Did you know that Robin Williams named his kid after a character in Zelda?
I did not.
Specifically Zelda.
I
And his
actually
daughter's
did not.
name is Zelda. Based on literally that from Nintendo. I thought it was kind of like a little fun fact.
Pretty based.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I feel old.
Don't feel old. Yeah, I've got another fun fact for you, okay? Another fun fact to help you not feel old. Did you ever think, do you remember Let It Go? Let It Go. Remember that film? What a fun film. I loved it. Frozen. What a good time. Well, did you know that the kids who grew up on that film are actually old enough now to be having their own kids and showing them that film? Because they grew up with it when they were children and now they're adults. If they were 9 when that film came out, they're now in their 20s.
My god. Thank you. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for that fun fact.
You're
Goddamn.
welcome.
I feel like I have like a weird perception of time or like my age because like I came out with 22 and I fought really hard to like start transitioning, and in the past I guess 2 years I reached a point where I feel more as myself. Before that everything was like kind of prep work in order to get approved for HRT and like have the start of second puberty and get approved for bottom surgery, then recover from bottom surgery. So it feels like my entire 20s are just gone, and everything before that, like my young teenage years, just didn't really exist, or it was like a different person. Like I'm not really connected with that. So I feel like I didn't really have like these past like 10 years or so.
Yeah, you're doing Youth 2.0 now.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of finally get to be yourself. Isn't that neat? It's such a fun experience that so many trans people get to go through, is going through their 20s and their 30s.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely doesn't make me feel like I'm really far behind, considering that the people that I started, I guess, studying with have their masters, maybe their PhD, and have families and stuff.
Oh my God, some of them have children. That freaks me out. Some of them should not have been having children, and now they have multiple babies. Oh my God.
That's crazy.
I can't. I can barely take care of myself, and people want me to have children? I could never.
Right?
I really thought I would when I was younger. My God. I was growing up, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a great dad. And I keep getting older, and every year I realize maybe that's not the right choice. And then I realized a lot of our parents were just kids themselves having kids. And they never really got to have that chance of second guessing themselves. They just went along with what the societal expectations were, which was you grow up, you're in your 20s, you get married, you have a kid, you buy a house. And then they just continued the cycle from their parents before them.
Yeah.
And then they get so mad at having children and the burden that they are that they just take it out on the kids. And then the kids, they grow up and they think, well, if that's what parenting is, I guess I have to do that. And here we are out here breaking the cycle, not having kids.
I ruined the bloodline for my family. I'm so
Ruined
sorry.
The bloodline?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, I'm
That's a funny way to put it.
I'm so sorry for being a
How dare you
evolutionary dead end. I mean, to be fair, like, I think that a lot of parents are not really qualified to be parents, and yeah, they definitely don't want to have children, and now they kind of want to force other people to have children so they suffer like they did.
Not because they enjoy it, but because they want them to go through the same trials and tribulations, the torment of it. Yeah, I hate that.
My mom always told me that she wishes she had like grandchildren because apparently it's so much better to have grandchildren than to have children.
You say that one more time.
Apparently, like, my mom was upset at me because, like, I can't give her grandchildren. Because
grandchildren.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to hear you. Okay.
Yeah, so she thought that having grandchildren is more enjoyable than having children and raising children.
Yeah, it's like having part-time kids. You only get to do the fun stuff with them. And
yeah,
they're
exactly.
excited to see you, and you have to deal with the consequences of anything. You can load them up on sugar and send them home. Grandkids, that's the right way to go. Not that I have very many.
Exactly. Apparently, like, that is the end goal of, like, life, to grow old and have grandchildren that you can mess up.
Well, who's going to take care of you when you're older? And it's like, I don't know, the state.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just live in the woods. I don't know. Maybe I'll take care of myself. How about that?
To be fair, I've never thought about, like, actually getting older. I feel like I'm...
Oh, it's an everyday reality for me, my friend. Oh, God.
I haven't thought this far. I'm, like, I'm struggling going through puberty again.
Twice the fun. My gosh.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for in your transition as you go through puberty here?
I feel like growing up, I never got to experience certain things or make memories as myself because of the mismatch and, like, misalignment between, sex and gender. Mm-hmm. And it is nice to get to a point where I can have, like, genuine relationships and friendships and moments and experiences that feel like me. And for example, going to TwitchCon. Like, I went to TwitchCon in Hewwo in 2025 and it was, like, my first convention. And it was a lot of fun.
I really wanted to go.
You should. You should.
Maybe next year. Maybe I'll get to meet you.
I mean, if 2026 works out, you could meet me.
Maybe. I'll definitely tell 0 people if I am going, though. Because, people be weird. I'll just go incognito. I'll dress as Batman or something. I shouldn't have said that. I will definitely not be dressed as... I don't already have an outfit for Batman ready to go for me to travel to TwitchCon, okay? Shut up. Don't write that down.
That's okay. I already forgot about it.
Go cosplay a femboy OT. I think I'm too bear-coded to do femboy.
No,
I
you
don't
can.
know.
You can do that. I think
You
that.
think so?
I think that being a femboy is more. It's like an expression. It's like on a similar level as like being goth.
I could do some bubblegum goth. I'd be down for that.
Mm-hmm. That could work out. It's about vibes, exactly.
Who am I kidding? My soul is too dark. I'm gonna have to be in black makeup and black clothing and black fishnets. It's not gonna work out. Oh, how I yearn to be bubblegum goth, and yet I was slotted by life to just be dark goth.
When I was growing up, I always I felt so sad because okay, I was born male. I'm like being forced into this. Why couldn't I just be one of those guys that look like girls?
Hmm.
I think I was more jealous. I was obviously really jealous of cis girls, but I was really jealous of guys who passed as girls and had the girl voice. That's also the girl voice trolling, and it's yeah, I want to do that, and I want to have the voice that helps me to be perceived online as a woman, but it's just part of my identity and not a troll or something.
How often is voice training something that you practice?
I do have exercises, but I haven't had this moment where it clicked with me. I had professional voice lessons for a really long time. Back then I could still afford it, and I have made a lot of progress. Okay. But for these past 2 years, I've been definitely kind of struggling.
Okay. Yeah, some people really take to it. Other people, it takes longer. Mm-hmm. Some people don't do any voice training at all, and they just use whatever stock standard voice they're most comfortable in. I find that really interesting. I notice that a lot of cis people as well would potentially benefit from voice training.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. If you just do it in order to practice different voices or find out.
That too. It's great for meme videos.
Exactly. Exactly. Just play around with your voice. But for me, it's just it is something that I struggle with. Obviously, it's valid if you don't, voice train or something, but it feels like there are certain standards for society and constantly being misgendered, or when I play games, being called a femboy, being called gay or something. That is something that I'd like to not have to endure as much, because it's always invalidating my identity. And I would like to have a phone call or a voice call or upload a video and have people instantly go, oh, that's a woman, oh, she, her, because it always feels like I have to basically out myself to other people and then rely on them to be respectful enough to use my pronouns for me. And that makes me feel really guilty.
You feel guilt around that?
Yeah.
Around asking people to respect you and respect your space.
Yeah, because
and how you present.
Because people typically don't think about the pronouns that they use for other people. They just put everyone in a box. And if you break that system, now they have to think. And I don't want people to think because they hear my voice and they don't know how to place me. If that makes sense.
Do you feel like you limit a lot of what you would like to experience because you're worried about being a burden to others?
Yeah, damn. Yeah.
Do you think that holding yourself back to try to appease people that will never be happy with you anyways is a healthy way to spend time?
I mean, I think it's not necessarily about the people who will never respect me anyway. It's about the people who are neutral.
Okay.
And I think that I put more emphasis when it comes to transitioning on like how random people on the street or random people on the phone perceive me instead of, you know, my friends, or on the other end, people on Twitter who are going to yell at me no matter what.
Twitter is definitely a space where not the happiest people like to congregate.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly in gaming spaces as well, there's a lot of unhealed people with trauma that they're never going to look inwards on and try to better themselves as individual and start treating others with respect. And that's often why they lash out so much at other people.
Oh, yeah.
And worrying about whether or not you can get them to be respectful and to get them to treat you as you would like to be treated, that might often be maybe an unwise investment of time. But I see where you're coming from, where it would definitely make life easier if this wasn't something you'd have to think about often and second guess those moments, and just, it would be nice to just be able to exist.
It is crazy how much more validity I get from people just gendering me correctly, like just average people gendering me correctly. And like when I was in Paris and somebody called me madame, like that's something that is still like stuck in my head. And it's like, you know, that feels nice. Or similar when I was in Venice, like just dressing up and being gendered correctly, it makes me feel better about the I guess about myself, and it breaks a lot of like these worries and anxiety that I had when it comes to, oh, I don't want to wear a dress because then people are going to think that I'm just a man in a dress, and then people are going to stare at me, and then I'm going to be worried. And what if I have people who are going to be aggressive towards me because I'm just a man in a dress and people are transphobic? And like to just be able to like dress up and be gendered correctly. And I was like, oh, are they just nice? Like, can they tell that I'm trans, or are they just being nice? I was like still a worry, but it's a quieter voice at this point. But when it comes,
I love that you've been able to find that confidence within yourself to really represent yourself honestly, and to be able to step away a little bit from that instinct to try to protect yourself all the time, and to just allow yourself to experience and exist.
oh my god. Yeah. it's definitely
a lot of bravery and a lot of strength.
I
and
think
I'm sure if past you could see you now, I'm sure you'd be really proud of yourself.
I'm just starting to cry. I think that when it comes to transitioning, this like mental aspect is definitely a huge aspect as well. And oh my god, I'm actually going to cry.
People do focus a lot on skirt goes spinny, but they don't really talk a lot about the other side of things.
Oh yeah.
And that's really great for you to be so open about this, so other people can maybe not model their behavior similarly, but so that they know that they're not alone in those kind of struggles as well. Because, like you said, for some people, it can be so easy. You can see a cis man able to present as femme without even caring about it. Just comes naturally. They got the right bone structure. They have the right, as you said, the right voice. it's what others would expect of someone, and they wouldn't second guess it. But then if we don't see that for ourselves, it could be something where we find that we have a bit of a mental block about it. And even if people accept us as we are and don't second guess it, we're still second guessing those interactions,
When
Are
I
they just being kind.
when I started creating content as a VTuber, I didn't have voice training. I always got like comments of people being like, "Why didn't you just figure everything out before making videos? Why didn't you have the perfect voice? Why don't you just use a voice changer? Why don't you do all
Why
these
didn't
things?"
you meet my expectations before you started making your content?
Exactly. And it was definitely like something for me. It was a way to, I guess, document and share my journey and show like the side of transitioning that is being brushed off. And
It's amazing that you've got this much strength that you're able to not only put up with those feelings of doubt and those people that have been unkind to you, but also to be such a strong example in the community of how far someone can go when they're just learning to be themselves and to be comfortable with what they want to do. That's amazing.
thank you. Oh my god. I think I always feel sad when I see so much anger and resentment in the trans community, especially at those trans women who quote unquote pass and are conventionally attractive and fulfill these societal expectations, and they're like, well, I will never get there. I don't have like thousands of dollars in order to get facial feminization surgery or fix my hairline and so on. And especially when it comes to VGen or even some subreddits, there's just so much hurt. And I can relate to these things. But it also just, it sucks that society expects so much from trans people, especially when it comes to trans women. When it comes to like societal expectations for cis women are already incredibly high, and beauty norms and beauty expectations. Like there's cis women who do not meet these standards. And then trans women are expected to fulfill this. Especially if they didn't have puberty blockers as a kid, and they didn't transition early on, and they didn't have surgeries, and they don't have like a certain voice, and they don't meet all of these things. And like I even had back in the day, I had interactions with people who were like, I don't mind femboys, but they need to look like real girls.
You need to meet my expectations, or I'm not going to respect you. What an unhealed person.
Yeah.
What a disappointing individual. That's something that you really can't take ownership over. They're going to behave that way regardless of whomever is in front of them. And if someone eventually potentially meets that expectation, that unrealistic standard they're setting out for people, they're still not going to respect them.
Yeah, the goalpost is always being moved, and then I was like, well, okay, now you look like a woman, you're cosplaying a woman, but you still can't get pregnant, so you can't fulfill the societal norm. So actually everything was for nothing, and I'm still going to invalidate you or use AI to make you look like a man.
I find something that's helped me quite a bit with accepting myself and learning how to be a better version of myself is listening to people and their trans experiences. Trans men are some of the strongest versions of healthy masculinity I've ever been lucky enough to be able to come across. And just the way that they discuss things, their struggles, the things that they've been able to cope with, the things that they've not been able to cope with. It's made me feel seen in a way that I never thought I would be able to feel.
Yeah.
And the more that trans people make content, the more that they share their perspectives, the more that I think cis people benefit from those things, from those conversations, from those videos. And I would hope more cis people would learn to listen.
Yeah.
I've only ever benefited from those, from listening to those conversations. And I can only imagine how much more impactful that would be to any eggs out there that haven't cracked yet. Being able to listen to what you've gone through, but then how you've also been able to come to the other side of it.
Even when it comes to just breaking the gender expectations and just like thinking about, like, do you do something because you like doing this or because it's expected of a man or a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, when I started transitioning, one of like the early things that I did was, okay, when I get a shampoo, when I get a soap, I don't just restrict myself to the men's section. I can now freely explore. And if there's something that is unisex or something in the women's, like, it's fine. And I can just take this. A long time ago, I had a conversation with a guy who was like, yeah, if he looks for a leather jacket, he goes into the women's section because they just sit better. And I think when it comes to fashion, you also realize that when you see pictures back in the day where guys were wearing clothes that were actually accentuating the body instead of just being like a one size fits all type of look, you kind of realize how a lot of individuality got basically removed in like fashion for guys.
Yeah, everything post 80s has been very box-like.
Yeah. I think that's also a point of capitalism. It's just, okay, we make this one product and a lot of people can use it. And that's fine.
It's the same reason why white became so popular for, I mean, well, not white, millennial gray is the term for it, even though it wasn't millennials who were doing it because none of us can afford houses.
Yeah.
But it was, it's the emblandification of everything. Make everything as accessible and inoffensive as possible, where nothing stands out and nothing has a personality. Seeing the same things with car paint colors. Nothing is ever bright and vibrant anymore. When we were kids, cars were, shockingly bright red, bright green, bright yellows. And now it's very rare to see anything that's even brighter than like an off yellow or off white. Like Volkswagen, I think, still does some colored vehicles, but everything else is like some version of white, gray, silver, dark.
Yeah.
Or even like if it's a pastel, it's very muted.
If so something is red, then it's a sports car.
They sell better, even though they're objectively worse, because anybody can buy it. And it doesn't lose value as quickly as something with personality. So why personalize any houses when it will just retain value if you do nothing to it, if you do like the bare minimum to it? Capitalism literally ruins everything. It's terrible.
You kind of realize that also when it comes to franchises, like fast food joints. Like Pizza Hut always had like a very unique shape, but then now everything is just a standard thing because, you know, maybe the Pizza Hut is going to become a McDonald's and then the Pizza Hut shape is not going to sell that much.
So like the roof structure and how original and unique it used to look. Same thing with like McDonald's and now it looks like it's become corporate and depressed now. There's no more bright colors on the outside. There's no more kids slide or kids areas. It's just kind of there's no more like fake Ronald McDonald's that sits in there.
Yeah.
What happened to the clown? Give me the clown. And I'm not even like partial to clowns, but give me the clown back for goodness sake.
Yeah. I think that like definitely
anything that's unique will be browbeaten, will be beaten down by society. If you stand out at all for any reason, there's going to be a huge number of people that try to push that away because it's different from themselves.
Yeah.
And people don't like that.
And when it comes to
you should ever change.
When it comes
at McDonald's.
When it comes to like clothes and expressing yourself, like guys are just going to be invalidated in their masculinity and being called gay, and then they're going to experience homophobia, and then you don't want to experience that. Like, I basically, growing up, I always had a very high-pitched voice, and I, got mistaken as a girl, and then I got bullied for it. And then I started forcing my voice deeper, sounding more monotone, not being excited at all, and I got more and more depressed, more and more numb to everything. And transitioning definitely helped me to break free from that, because I definitely spiraled into like this very not necessarily angry, just like dead inside. And I think a lot of guys, if they're cis guys, struggle with how like society just makes them numb. And I wish people would listen to trans people more, especially since we broke free from all of that, and in order to be inspired. And like we have kind of a unique perspective when we kind of see both sides, and we know how like society treated us differently. But it's not about like making everybody transgender. It's more about making everybody more comfortable with themselves and realize their place in society a little bit better. Reimagining.
There is the
themselves.
unique perspective that trans people have of, as you mentioned, you're going through second puberty kind of late.
Yeah.
But there can be a lot of social conditioning kind of built into growing up, where society expects one gender to act one way and one gender to act the other. Before we really have the language to express what we're experiencing at the time or what our struggles are. And then by the time we were old enough to be able to express those things, we've often forgot about a lot of the struggles that we've gone through. And that's why I noticed that a lot of trans men have the language to be able to describe some of the struggles that men go through.
Yeah.
Because rather than experiencing it when they were kids, before they had the language to really convey how lonely it can be, they were able to grow up, become adults, and then start realizing that it can be like a sense of a loss of community, becoming a man.
Yeah.
There's not always like allies out there.
Mhm.
Men are not communicating to each other. Men are not talking to each other. They're not instantly friends when they meet out in public. You can't just like go up to a man and strike up a new friendship out in public. It can be an incredibly different experience, but like, I would not have had that perspective or the language to be able to convey that were I to not listen to trans stories.
Even when it comes to queer communities, a lot of trans men, once they have like these quote unquote passing privileges and they just look like a normal average cis guys, their transness is basically being erased and like brushed off, and they are no longer like in general not really seen as like trans men, but either as like butch women or cis guys. And then society and the environment definitely treats them differently.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to trans women, like for me, I always noticed that I didn't really fit in with the guys. A lot of the interactions were very superficial. And I feel like the only acceptable time when it was okay for guys in my friend circle to open up was when they got dumped or something. And that was mainly about complaining about how the girl is just missing out and, not like being the problem. That was the only acceptable way to, I guess, open up about it. But for me, I just never really had any relationships. I couldn't see myself in a relationship. And so I never really had like a person where I could actually trust, because there was no emotional bond.
It's hard. It's hard not being able to have someone in your life where you can feel like you're allowed to express your emotions and be that open and vulnerable with.
Yeah.
And it's many of us don't even realize that we're missing that until we see other people have actually had that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine having friends mature enough that they're allowed to express their emotions to each other.
Yeah.
My gosh, couldn't be me. I'm extremely lucky. Growing up, primarily my friends have been queer. My entire friendship circle right now is almost entirely made up of lesbian women. I've never felt like I didn't have, well, not never, but like the majority of my life, I've always felt like I've had people I could turn to and I could express myself if I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always felt that need to hold it back just in case. Because, you know, boys don't cry.
Yeah.
But they help me break down those walls. They help me be better people. And I wish other people would listen. It would help them be better people too. All we can do is, I suppose, be good examples for others. Do you ever think about that? About how through your content and how through just existing, you're helping being a good example for other trans people in the future through the content that you make, through the community and the space that you create?
I definitely...
The hard things that you're going through are going to make things easier for the next people.
I definitely believe that by being vulnerable and being okay with talking about these things, I do the type of content that I would have benefited from when I was growing up.
I wish things were easier by the time I was coming up in the world and becoming an adult, and god dang it.
Yeah.
Instead of like being able to have an older sibling do all this hard work for me, I gotta be the older sibling. I gotta look out for the younger people. God dang it.
Yeah.
Unfair. Why couldn't I have the life that was sold to me back in the 90s? My God, work hard, get a job, everything will be easy peasy, you'll be happy, multiple vacations a year. God dang it. Instead, we're out here and we're in our fuels.
Oh, yeah.
Heck.
Yeah. I think that it's definitely necessary to talk about this, especially with the more and more, like, this divide that is happening, and everybody is more resentful, aggressive to each other, and everybody's miserable, kind of, and people are struggling.
Monetize hate so effectively,
yeah,
that it has degraded the fabric of our society, and I don't think people have really come to terms with how bad it's really gotten.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing that we can do is to try to be positive in the face of that, but it didn't used to be this bad. It has always been bad, but it's a special kind of bad right now, where people making hateful content right now is going to be pushed to every single person. Whereas before, like, the most hateful thing you'd hear is, like, you know, the occasional butthole in person would be mean to you, or there might be like an aside in a movie or something, but generally your life was fairly chill. But now people just, you know, social media is plugged into everything, including our work, including the things that we have to navigate for in home, outside of work as well. And people can be mean to you and access you at any time of the day. We've never gone through this before.
People always tell me, like, oh, you're too weak, you're too fragile, you wouldn't have survived the old Xbox days. And I'm like, I'm a trans woman.
I didn't survive the old Xbox days, my God. I didn't go online. It made me feel bad to listen to those conversations.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. A lot of us didn't go through, well, I mean, still went through it, but like didn't survive that. We couldn't put up with it. There's no sense of, like, you know, that it doesn't denote strength that people were able to put up with others using slurs online.
Yeah.
I don't think that shows. It definitely betrays a lack of maturity from people that they were able to put up with that and accept it just on its face and not think twice about it. Because those words clearly negatively affected people, and just allow that around you in your space. How did that not make them feel bad? How did they not experience empathy back then?
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it's like, I'm a trans woman on the internet, and I have been on Twitter. Like,
Oh no.
it's just crazy to me how I made a video. I was on stream. I was playing. I played Valorant, and somebody asked me like, "What are your pronouns?" Oh, I don't want to be offensive. And typically, I do not answer. I do not answer these questions because I know where it leads up to.
Question. Oh my gosh. I guess we'll talk about pronouns. Oh my gosh.
I was like, "Oh yeah, you she her." Just you, I guess, show people why I do not tell people my pronouns, because the moment that I told him my pronouns, he started talking about me in third person, inserting himself in conversations to be like, he, I mean she. And then I didn't respond to anything. I was just like talking to my chat, being like, oh, this is why I don't tell people my pronouns, because they just want to find out how to attack me.
Yeah.
And then he dropped the act, just calling me he, and even it. Oh, it muted us. And turned this into a small little short, and I was like, okay, I added enough context. It's going to be fine. And I have so many people just, especially on Instagram, invalidate my experience and like gaslight me into believing that I'm just overreacting and oh, he was just trying. Like, it's so hard to respect someone's pronouns. And I was like, we didn't even know each other. They were asking me my pronouns. I said she, her, and then why would you have to struggle with that? Why do you have to insert yourself? Why do you? Because before that, there were no pronouns being used. And I always feel as trans people, we are not being taken seriously. We're not being heard when it comes to struggles. Which is also like something that cis women experience as well, especially in the gaming sphere. It's like, oh, these things bother me. This is a struggle. This is what we constantly have to put up with. And then a lot of guys are, well, but like when I play bad, then I get insulted too. So why are you like struggling? And it's like,
people use mean words at me and I can get over it. Why can't you?
I aced. I killed the entire team 3 times in a row, and I'm still going to get shit for it.
Damn it.
So
there's no reasoning with some people. You can't fix them. It's so frustrating that they want to take out their lack of development on other people. There's no need for that. It seems like the only place that they can find that they have like a sense of control, the only way they're able to exert any control over their life is to be hateful towards other people, to try to tear other people down. And how sad must that be for the rest of their life? They must have like a terrible dead-end job or a really bad home life or just incredibly unhappy and always alone by themselves in their space. Just what a disappointing person that they'd go out of their way and try to do that to somebody else.
And then it's like, oh, but they're just kids. They're just teens. But it's like nobody teaches them.
Excuse that just because they're young.
Yeah, nobody teaches them how to act, and they're in a shitty environment, and they think that it's normal and that it's okay. Yeah. Oh, it's just a video game. It's like it's a human talking to another human being using words that can trigger certain things.
Just turn it off and walk away. Why is it that important? If it offends you so much, then don't play. Ugh.
Yeah. Why don't you just mute? Why don't you just... And
absolutely siding on the side of the person that's treating you like that.
Exactly. Exactly. And that is something that I feel like is always being brushed off. That like, I can mute someone, but like, who teaches them how to act? Like, they're just going to keep doing that. And maybe they're going to talk to someone who is struggling more than I am.
Yeah, it's disappointing as well when you have to be the one person that speaks up against it, and like the rest of your team aren't also calling them out on their behavior. And
Yeah.
they're just saying like, "Oh, just let it go. Just like whatever. Just they're like that. Just let them be." Ugh.
Yeah, it's
I would hope
always
that we're making it easier for people going forwards by pointing out that bad behavior and helping people change. I don't know. I'm an optimist. I have to think that we're doing some good out here.
I think that it's beneficial, and I think that I just hope that eventually people are just going to listen and just internalize a lot of what we're saying, and that it helps them figure certain things out. When it comes to like transphobia, and I have people who degender me, for example, and constantly refer to me by name or they them pronouns. And I'm like, hey, you don't do this to the cis woman, so you know that is rooted in transphobia because you're viewing me differently. Huh? You don't view me as a real woman, you just view me as a trans woman, and you know that is something that I notice a lot, and that sucks. And then they're like, oh, but like I'm not transphobic, I'm not calling you he. I view you as a trans woman. You know, you should be thankful that I'm not calling you it.
Yeah. Aren't I doing enough? Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And I wish that people would, like that, I guess cis straight people wouldn't take offense at other marginalized groups calling out their behavior and like trying to tell them something that they are doing which is hurtful, which is rooted in bigotry, and you know, which makes it unpleasant to interact with these people. But they're always like, yeah, you call everything transphobic. You call everyone transphobe.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
why
I
it's so
didn't-
important for goddamn cis people to be standing up against some of that language that they
Yeah.
use and shut it down immediately. Because, like, god dang it, allies, if you're going to be a real ally, stand up and speak for your trans homies. Because, goodness gracious, whenever trans people have to advocate for themselves, like you said, you're not listened to. People talk
Yeah.
over you. People try to subvert what you're saying with what they believe. Be like, well, I didn't intend to disrespect you, thus there was no disrespect. You need to get over yourself.
I have my dad was like that when I told him things that hurt me, that I internalized growing up, like constantly being, you know, invalidated and having people be like, oh, you're like a girl, you need to like man up, why aren't you behaving this way, why aren't you doing that? And then my dad was like, yeah, but like we didn't know that you're trans, so actually that is not my issue. And it's like, what you did was still shitty, no matter if I'm trans or not. Yeah. And I think there should be more accountability to these things.
Yeah. I think largely things have changed for the better, but as much as they have changed for the better, they've also changed for the worse. But you were mentioning that you've made videos before. Does everybody know that you're on YouTube? I've actually seen a video or two of yours on YouTube.
I am
but
on
I've
YouTube.
Also,
yes.
Earlier in the conversation, before you allowed me onto your stream, even though I was sitting here in the background,
I'm sorry.
Talking about stinky people, and I don't know how deep you want to go into talking about a certain stinky person.
Oh,
but you've come up in conversation multiple times with different people outside of me preparing for today or whatever, where, you know, tweets will come up and I talk about some of the things that you've had to put up with from that stinky individual.
Yeah.
And then like seeing them make streams and then videos about the things that you've said and tweeted online. You're pretty goddamn cool for being able to go through all of that. And still be rocking it on the other side and still streaming and still making videos.
I made back in the day when that situation kind of escalated, I made I think 2 streams and one stream I
Back in the
did.
day, but this is like a week ago.
That's like, I mean, at this point, that's like last year. I think that was August.
Oh jeez.
No, it was before TwitchCon. It was
Okay.
like May. So I made a video, and I think it's like 40 minutes long. And at the end of it, I was crying because it was just so cruel, especially considering what like I'm trying to do, which is help people like me and have like a better future. And at some point, I was like, why is there like no empathy? Why is there no compassion? Why is the cruelty the point? Why is like this level of hatred and harassment? Why is that just the norm? Why is that something that I need to put up with? That like trans people have to put up with. And I took a break after that, and then I went to TwitchCon, and I had a lot of people actually show me support. People knew me in real life because of that situation, and it definitely showed me that what I'm doing is good, it's beneficial, but it's also really frustrating when I have people be like, yeah, I know trans people, my best friend is trans, and they hate Nyara too because Nyara's making trans people look bad. And there's so many people within the trans community who look at how these transphobic people, these transphobic creators, misrepresent me, and then be like, this is the reason why trans people don't have rights. This is why gay marriage is going to get repealed. And then they believe that.
But you see, if you were just acting normal and quiet and never said anything and you were completely invisible, then people would respect you.
Oh yeah.
So like, what do you expect? If you just keep going out there and you just be weird in public by saying that people need to use your pronouns, then of course they're gonna lash out at you and do all sorts of crimes at you. That's your fault. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Disgusting. I've listened to some of his arguments before. You've asked for this. How do you expect it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
Oh my god.
You said your opinion, and I'm just saying my opinion. You stepped into the kitchen.
Oh my god. Popped you a cheeky little DM.
Oh yeah, the your translate.
That came out recently, yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god, is that a
For those of you
Nyara
who don't know,
VT
if it doesn't
tweet?
get shown. There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So occasionally these tweets fly by in the different subreddits that I cover. And I did a recording last night and that one came up.
Oh.
You're just trans for the attention.
Yeah. A lot of my older tweets are getting posted. I mean, I'm shadow banned now, so it's going to take a while until people realize.
Oh my god, let me go like your recent tweet. Hold on.
Have you?
I will unshadow ban you right now. Here we go. Twitter.com. Oh wait, X. Okay. Nyara. I'm fixing this right now.
You get like a little warning. Like you can't even. A lot of people can't even show my tweets unless they are like like face verified or age verified and so on. And
the EU needs to shut down Twitter. There's no
yes.
saving that. Yeah, that's obviously going to get suppressed. My gosh.
It's been since like December 17th. It's kind of like, it's kind of a blessing
You
because
had some spicy ones in December. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I also there was also like a situation with like Elon Musk. There were a lot of like, oh, the woke mind virus killed my child, and I was like, no, she's still alive. She just transitioned, and you're a piece of shit. So like, but yeah, it's been kind of a blessing because okay, I'm no longer in the crosshair of like these right wingers. They still post my old tweets a lot of times. They still try to like farm engagement from these tweets, but like nothing recent. And but it's also like I'm so used to it at this point. Like I'm so used to being in the crosshair. I'm so used to being essentially a target and basically a shield for the trans community, that it feels weird. Like that was my 2025, like end of 2024, 2025. There was where it was literally just drama, literally just these fights, and literally only me defending myself and being like this punching bag. And now it's like, okay, what do I do beyond this? What is the type of content? Like this accidental podcast is actually really useful. Nice to get other perspectives and to talk with people who do not want to see me dead.
I would rather see you stick around for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I am, isn't it? I'm a guest on your accidental podcast. My gosh.
I feel really special that you agreed to that.
Sorry, you do?
I do, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just a guy that looks at memes. What the heck? No, I feel honored to be here. This was really cool. I'm really glad that you invited me.
I'm glad that you enjoyed your time here. My small little community.
I've had a good time. Even though I didn't get to sleep beforehand. And
I'm so sorry.
You also didn't let me in immediately, and I was just sitting here looking at our DMs.
Well, you
also,
could
I
have...
heard what you were saying. OT's just not good at Discord. How about I leak to all of you what happened? All right, you want to hear what actually happened? I said, I confirm I'm available at this time on this day. And then Niara, over 5 different days, sent 5 different DMs just triple confirming, quadruple confirming, octuply confirming that I was going to be there on that specific day at that specific time. And since I had already stated repeatedly that I was going to be there, I didn't respond. And now suddenly I'm bad at Discord?
I was very I don't know, I'm just nervous. I'm trying to make sure, like, especially because we haven't had like that many interactions on Discord or like privately in general. So I'm just I'm very like double checking and making sure.
Yeah, you're testing the waters and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what if I was actually terrible? Oh my god.
And then it's like, well, okay, I'm starting stream now, you know, let me know when you're ready. And then it's like, okay, I'm not.
Okay, but I have been ready at the scheduled time that I agreed to. In fact, I even responded to an earlier DM. You were like, hey, I'm thinking about, this is what we might talk about. And I'm like, yeah, yes, that's all good. And that was 2 hours before, oh, not even 2 hours, less than 2 hours before I was going to be here.
Yeah. I feel really bad just calling people.
Okay.
So even was like, okay, we have the time, we have the schedule. I still feel bad to just be like, okay, I'm going to call in and we're going to set everything up beforehand. I'm just expecting okay, I'm here now, just call me whenever. That is kind of like...
Well, it doesn't make for very good content either to ring somebody up and wait for it, and then they don't pick up, and then you're like, oh, I guess I gotta wait for them, and then they try to ring you up all your life. Yeah, it's not the best. I feel you on that, but
yeah,
I did agree to be here, and I was happy to be here. I was very excited to be featured on this. You're showing me off to a community that I have not met before, which is actually pretty cool. Like, there were some people in chat I noticed when you started your conversation, maybe 5 minutes after you went live, they were saying that they had actually not been by my side before or not interacted with me before. And it's really cool that you got to, have a conversation with me in front of some of those people.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are a lot of people who do know you in my community. Maybe not necessarily like in your streams, but definitely watch your stuff.
Maybe. But like you said, I'm very inconsistent with making content now.
I mean, you just haven't uploaded.
It's been such a flattering experience being here. My goodness.
Oh my god. Yeah. At least you got to do my little therapy session and get me to cry.
Well, that wasn't expected. I was just talking to you. But I appreciate that I may have had an impact, and I'm grateful that you felt open to sharing that that's how that affected you.
I do like...
Thank you for feeling comfortable enough to do that.
I think that because you do interact a lot with trans content, there are a lot of patterns, I guess, a lot of things that like a different perspective that you have on a lot of aspects. And like for me, talking about these things and having someone to like bounce this off on who doesn't necessarily feel the same way, but also does understand the experience through this content, like it does help me. I talked with another leftist creator called Alec Gunter a while ago, which also kind of turned into a therapy session for me at some point. And I think that people can benefit from conversations like this, and I do benefit from it as well. That's kind of a win-win.
Well, that's really neat to hear. Maybe you'll have me back in the future then, my goodness, if it's so beneficial to talk to me. Oh my gosh.
Of course. I do really enjoy talking to you, and I always feel really special when I come into your streams.
Oh, you have been by a couple times. That's been really sweet. Aren't you supposed to kick me out now so that you can end up on your other scheduled conversation that's happening today?
Yeah, I mean the other conversation happens.
You've been trying to say goodbye to me for about 10 minutes now.
I mean, we started late, and I don't know how. Like,
I wonder whose fault is that.
I will know for the future that I can count on you being punctual and not someone I need to. I'm used to chase after people. So.
Like I could tell.
Yeah. So this is something I will keep in mind.
Of course. Thank you, everybody, for making this a pretty welcoming conversation as well. The chat's been lighting up with a lot of positivity today, and some of them actually knew me, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I actually, Kate actually sent me the timestamp from, like, the 2 timestamps from a video where my tweets were featured, which I thought was kind of cool.
That was a fun video. I like that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew who you were when I was reading this out.
Yeah, really, I appreciated the shout out.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy to me how big of a reach I do actually have when it comes to other creators, because I do not, like, a lot of things are not necessarily reflected by numbers. So it's always like, oh yeah, I'm just a small creator, and I, have like my small little platform, and I'm in my small little bubble. And then, like, even at TwitchCon, it's just like, oh yeah, I've seen you before. Oh yeah, like I support you. It's like, goddamn, why aren't you like telling me that? That would have been
It's
like,
definitely a weird experience meeting people in person.
yeah, especially as a
that? Do you
VTuber.
like interacting with them face to face?
It is something that I never really had. It is. I've been very isolated, very by myself, very just in my head a lot. And to meet people, especially those that I have collabed with numerous times, it does feel special. It's kind of like I enjoy playing D&D, like TTRPGs.
Okay.
But I really enjoy doing it in person. And I enjoy doing it way more in person than online. To the point where, like, online I feel I still feel kind of alone. You're around other people, but you don't really have, like, this togetherness that you do have in person. I am introverted, though.
I don't like it. I don't like meeting people. I don't like being perceived. I don't like it. I did it once, never again. So I'd be very tempted to not go to TwitchCon in the future. I'll just say that. No way. Ugh. I went to, you know Jamie Dodger, right?
Yeah.
I went to his book signing, and people recognized me in person.
Oh, no.
Didn't like that. Ugh. Ugh. And then we hung out, and then people recognized us when we were out and about. Ugh. Ugh. Don't they say hi to me? No, thank you. Don't want that. Don't want that. Can I leave, by the way? Am I allowed to go?
Oh yeah.
How long am I held hostage here?
Of course. You can go. I'm sorry for I'm sorry for not calling you immediately. I will know for the future, and I will gladly schedule something with you again.
Sure.
It was a fun
I'd be
time.
glad to be back. It was a good time, yeah. And now that we've had our first conversation awkwardly, I'm sure our next one will flow a lot smoother.
Yeah. I can't I can't promise that.
Thank you very much for having me by your side, Nira.
Of course.
This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for agreeing
Bye.
to this. Bye bye. Wow.